I'm Judy Shaw for NYSE Floor Talk. Today I'm talking with Woods Staton. He is the Executive Chairman of ArcosDorados. Woods, it is so great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Judy, for having me.
A quick note to our viewers before we get started. This interview is for informational purposes only. The NYSE doesn't recommend any investments or investment strategies. Woods, tell me about the ArcosDorados ESG Fundamentals and why you believe it's important to your business.
Yeah, well, thank you. First of all, ESG is the right thing to do. I mean, we all have children, and it's the right thing to do, to be worried about and considering the environment. Secondly, it's good business. And ESG is nothing new for us. It's been in the DNA of McDonald's ever since Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, started the Ronald McDonald House Charities years ago. And I care about ESG personally. It's something that I think defines us as a company. And we have a name for it in our company. It's called Receta del Futuro, or Recipe for the Future. And it's all aligned around what McDonald's calls Scale for Good. So it's part of, it's our interpretation of what McDonald's is doing around the world. Also, Latin America has a large population of what we call ni, people who don't study and people who don't work. And we are the largest generator of the first job in Latin America that are formal, that pay taxes and that give benefits. And that gives us a fantastic platform to focus on providing opportunities for young people. As a matter of fact, youth unemployment is one of the most serious problems in our region. 30% of young people do not work, and from that working force, 70% of the people does it in the informal sector, in other words, off the radar screen. So ESG was already a part of who we are, as I mentioned, Ray Kroc, and what we want to do in the long term to make a difference. And I think perhaps the COVID-19 crisis has brought this business imperative even more into focus.
Absolutely. So now, how are you incorporating ESG into your day-to-day routine of your restaurants?
We serve approximately 4 million people every day, which gives us a unique opportunity to educate our communities on the importance of small changes in habit that can help the planet. In 2018, we gave our guests a choice of asking for plastic straws with their drinks and started eliminating other single-use plastics from our packaging. And so in only 1 year, we eliminated 200 tons of plastic through this initiative. Combined with other initiatives in our single-use plastic from the operations, we've already come to a thing of 700 tons of this material per year across Latin America and the Caribbean, which is quite a bit. Also, we've replaced other single-use plastic items with recyclable paper, such as salad plates, and that accounts for about 300 tons per year. And other programs that we have include things like simple as collecting the condensation from air conditioners. We have a lot of stores in tropical areas, and we, through that, collect 90 million liters of water that we use for our gardens and for our bathrooms. We're also recycling vegetable oil to be used as biofuel, and also obviously ensuring the whole supply chain is following those leads of ours.
Mm-hmm. Now, what are your main concerns during COVID-19 and how are you managing it?
Well, foremost and way out there is number one, it's the safety of our customers, the safety of our people, suppliers, etc. We have further enhanced our industry-leading food safety and hygiene standards in the process. And in fact, some local governments have looked at us for help in setting up their policies. And it's been a fantastic opportunity for us to be a good neighbor and a good citizen. We have a program called Protegidos, which in English is McSafe, which makes our employees and guests feel safe in our restaurants and also eating our food. So we have crew wearing gloves and face masks. We have acrylic barriers in our drive-through windows and cash registers. We increase the sanitization of our surfaces, the space between when people have to wash their hands as well. And from the business perspective, we entered this crisis from a position of strength and with a very, very ambitious growth plan for the next several years. And, both sales and profitability trends in 2019, the first 2 months of 2020 were very strong. Obviously now we've had to respond quickly and decisively, reducing expenses and cutting back on investments to preserve cash. But we have a multifaceted recovery plan in place to adapt our operational segments to this new reality of COVID-19.
And how are you contributing to the communities where your restaurants are located during this pandemic?
Well, we donated over 320,000 meals to our healthcare and public safety workers, the people on the front line. We also donated more than 120 tons of food to NGOs, serving some of the most vulnerable segments of the population throughout the region. And I think one of the most interesting things we've done is we have a hamburger university in Brazil, which was used for our training center. And we've been very involved with e-learning for a number of years. And we've been teaching other restaurants that are mom and pop restaurants how to take care of food safety and hygiene in their restaurants. So we've been helping our colleagues in the business.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and finally, how are you preparing for post-COVID? Like, how have you adapted, and what are you looking at for the future?
Well, I think there's a word that encapsulates well what we're doing, which is called trust. I think our customers want to trust us. They want to trust anybody. And I think that the byword is having trust in our hygiene and trust in our food safety. And although these have always been a big priority, now they're being enhanced, as I mentioned before, through the McSafe program. And so being a trusted brand is very important. People will value us because of that, and consumers will be impacted financially. So one of the big important things that we do is have value for money, where we provide a safe environment, and it's considered very good value. We're by far the region's most favorite family restaurant, and we think one of the silver linings of this pandemic is that it is strengthening family ties and bonds, amongst our guests. They're all staying at home. So we have a lot of work to be done in the middle of a storm, but I believe by becoming a trusted provider and becoming a trusted place to go, we are going to come out of this as well as possible.
Wonderful. Well, Woods, it's been so great to talk with you, and thank you for joining me on NYSE Floor Talk.
No, thank you, Judy, and you take care of yourself and stay safe.